This entire country sits below the ocean.
And 17 million people live there every single day without a second thought.
The ocean sits higher than the ground people are standing on right now.
Every second of every day, something has to hold that ocean exactly where it is.
So how do you build an entire country below the sea and convince millions of people it is safe to live there? Let us find out.
Living below the ocean is not about being safe with the sea once. It is about building something that has to win.
Before it can hold back an ocean, this ground has to start as something much simpler: clay, sand, and steel.
Every material that will hold this coastline together first has to travel the length of it.
This exact blend of clay and sand has protected this coastline for generations. Dense enough to resist water, flexible enough to never fully crack. Every batch has to hold together under pressure most soil never has to withstand, emphasizing the extraordinarily high durability standards required for this essential coastal protection material. Alongside the clay steel reinforced panels are being built, the backbone hidden inside every dike wall. Before it ever meets a real wave, every panel has to survive one built specifically to break it, delivering a striking statement about the genuinely demanding testing philosophy. This material has to reach the coastline while it is still workable. Before anything is built, they have to understand exactly how this coastline behaves, tide by tide.
Every panel here will eventually become part of a wall this entire region depends on.
Along one of the most carefully engineered coastlines on Earth, the neck stretch makes its way into place. The material has arrived now, and it has to become something strong enough to hold an ocean back permanently. Before a single load of clay goes down, they already know exactly where this line needs to hold, delivering a striking statement before anything can hold the water back, and the ground beneath it has to be prepared properly.
The very first layer of the dike starts as nothing more than compacted clay and sand.
Every pass compacts this layer just a little more. Density is everything here. Inside every dike, a steel skeleton gives the clay something to hold on to.
Every bolt here has to hold firm against pressure that never actually stops, delivering a striking statement about the genuinely continuous.
The angle of this slope is not arbitrary. It is exactly calculated to absorb a wave's energy instead of fighting it head-on. Kilometer by kilometer, a wall begins separating the ocean from the land it used to cover. Before it is trusted with a real storm, and every section has to survive one built specifically to test it.
When it passes the next section, gets the same green light, delivering a striking statement about the systematic and rigorous verification process of plungers.
Hundreds of sensors like this one will quietly track water pressure along this wall for decades to come, delivering a series.
Once the dike holds the sea back, and the land behind it still has to be drained before anyone can live there.
This foundation will support the machine that has to work every single day without ever fully stopping.
This building's only job is to move water constantly, quietly, for as long as people live behind this dike. Each pump here can move an enormous volume of water every single hour, and there is always a backup ready if one ever fails. Even the markings here were chosen deliberately visible from a distance, impossible to mistake for anything else.
For the first time, you can see exactly what this entire coastline is going to look like protected.
These gates can seal this section completely the moment conditions demand it.
When this gate closes, it has to hold back the sea completely on the very first try.
Centuries ago, windmills did exactly this job. Today, they stand beside the machines.
Het land dat vroeger zeebodem was, is nu voor het eerst in de geschiedenis volledig droog. Een werkelijk opmerkelijke historische transformatie.
Even dry, this soil needs years of preparation before it is ready to support roads, homes, and farms. Before anyone lives here, an entire infrastructure network has to be buried beneath ground that used to be ocean floor.
Monthly. The first road here runs across ground that not long ago sat quietly beneath the sea, delivering a genuinely poetic
Halfway along this stretch of coastline, and the ocean still has not found a single weakness, delivering a striking statement of confidence.
This is exactly the kind of night the entire design was built to survive.
When the storm passes, the work continues exactly where it left off, delivering a resilient statement about this crew's practiced and calm response.
If the first line ever failed, and this second one exists purely to buy enough time to respond.
Even from a distance, you can see exactly where the ocean's world ends, and this one begins.
Every inch of this coastline still passes through very ordinary and very careful human hands, directly honoring the individual craft.
Working this close to open water every single day means safety here is never treated as optional.
If the power to these pumps ever fails, this room takes over immediately. The pumping never actually stops.
Not every meter of coastline faces the same risk, so not every meter gets the same reinforcement.
Somewhere along this coastline, someone is always watching exactly how high the water is right now.
With this gate in place, the entire coastline finally has a complete controllable barrier.
Some of the richest farmland in the country started exactly like this, as ocean floor drained and prepared by hand and by machine. After all of this, only one final stretch of coastline remains unprotected.
The very last stretch is built with exactly the same care as the very first, maintaining a consistent craftsmanship.
And with that, the entire coastline is finally completely protected.
From up here, it is hard to believe an entire country's worth of dry land depends on a line this thin. Even the very last gate gets the same careful finish as the very first one. For the first time, this entire coastline can be watched end to end from a single control room, delivering a striking statement about the comprehensive monitoring capability.
Soon these stations will not just work through the day, they will keep working quietly through every single night as well.
After all of this clay, steel, and constant vigilance, an entire stretch of coastline stands protected. Even now, the smallest detail is never rushed, emphasizing the continued dedication to quality, even at this very late stage of the one by one the machines that built this coastline now leave it behind. The very first homes here will stand on ground that used to be the bottom of the sea, delivering a genuinely moving statement. Even with every safeguard in place, there is always a depot ready for the day. Something still goes wrong. Emergency response is not a formality. It is tested until everyone can do it without thinking.
This station's only job is to give everyone downstream as much warning as possible, delivering a striking statement.
Even this wall, meant to hold back the ocean, was designed for people to walk along it every single day. Even the building that never stops working gets finished with the same care as everything around it. A small plate marking the exact point where this coastline first decided to push the sea back. After all of this dikes, pumps, and centuries of accumulated knowledge, an entire livable country stands below the level of the sea beside it. Before it is ever declared finished, the entire coastline is checked meter by meter one final time, emphasizing and just beyond this wall, the ocean has not gone anywhere. It never will.
Every utility here now runs across ground that has existed as dry land for less time than most of the people about to live on it.
One last walk along something they spent years building before it belongs to the people who will actually live behind it.
Everything is ready, everything except the first families to actually move in.
Every calculation, every panel, every pump approved one final time.
Sanger. For the first time, every pump on this stretch of coastline runs together at full strength, all at once.
And it holds exactly the way it was designed to delivering the emotional and narrative peak statement of this entire documentary's central engineering achievement. No fireworks, no big celebration, just quiet confirmation that it actually works. The very first family to live on ground that used to be seabed, moving in like it is the most ordinary thing in the world. Within weeks, what once seemed impossible becomes just another ordinary neighborhood. Most of them will never think twice about the wall they are walking on, and that is exactly the point. Extraordinary engineering becoming quietly invisible. Somewhere nearby, this machine never actually stops, and that is the whole reason everyone else gets to. One coastline, one quiet, ongoing victory, repeated every single day without anyone needing to notice. Every sunrise here rises over the same quiet agreement between a nation and the sea beside it. This is not just clay and steel. This is what happens when a nation refuses to accept the ocean's original terms. A country below the ocean, 17 million people, and a wall that simply never stops working.
This video is created for education and informational purposes using advanced AI tools and human creativity. All concepts, scripting, and storytelling are independently developed to ensure originality. Visuals and animations are generated or enhanced using AI technologies such as VO3, Meta AI, and Grok AI, while final editing and post-production and completed using CapCut and other professional editing tools. No external created content has been copied or reused. Any semblance to real-world environments, factories, or processes is purely coincidental. All scenes shown in this video are digitally created and do not represent real footage. This content is produced with transparency and follows YouTube monetization guidelines.